Hello and welcome to the Nerdy Novelist. So today I'm going to be doing a book haul / recommendations for my first video, and basically I'm going to be going through all the different genres and picking out the best one. So the first book is pretty much a basic. It's a book that everyone needs to read no matter how old, how young you are. And what else could it be than Harry Potter? These books are just amazing. Millions of people have read this, and if you haven't read this, then what are you doing with your life? Because this is the basic. So, if you don't know, there are 7 books and 8 movies. Okay, next off, we have got the Greek mythology, and for that, I have chosen Percy Jackson, of course. I mean, what else could it be? Percy Jackson is awesome. You know how great Rick Riordan is at cliffhangers. He also made another series. It's in the same world and they have the same characters but a lot of new ones. First book is The Lost Hero. Here's Olympus, The Lost Hero. And then the second one, Sun and Neptune. So if you thought after the end of Percy Jackson series you got a break, well, you haven't. Next, science fiction. For science fiction we have got I Am Number 4. First book is good, but the second and third book so far is so much better. Number 4 is here. And then the Power of 6 is like somewhere up in the ceiling up there, far away. If you read this and you're like, oh, this is good, and you can't be bothered to read the second book, read it. Read it. You won't regret it. The second and third book is amazing. Power of 6. Here's The Rise of 9 on Kindle. Next up is fantasy / romance books. Now, I don't really read any completely romance books. I read books with a little bit of romance, but that isn't the main plot. Except from Twilight series. So I know many people hate basically this series. I can understand why. I mean, you have to read this with a really open mind. Some parts you're just like, really? Really? But if you just ignore those parts, it's a really good series. So there's 4 books, 5 movies. I mean, I think it's sometimes overrated or underrated, depending who you are. I'm not one of those crazy fangirls. Next up is Dystopia. I wonder what I'll choose for this. The Hunger Games. This series is amazing. They're amazing books, beautifully written. Nowadays there are like an outburst of dystopia books. There are so many others like Shatter Me or Insurgent and Divergent, which is amazing by the way. Overload of books. Now the real books, books set in the real world. And this goes to The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I'm a big nerd fighter, so I just went out to read this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a signed copy, but this is good enough. I mean, the writing's amazing. You really connect to the characters. It really brings realism to cancer and everything that's sad. And next is an almost realistic book that I had to include. Noughts and Crosses books. These books will make you cry. There are 4 books in the series. There's Noughts and Crosses, which I have here. And then there's Knife Edge and Checkmate and Double Cross. The Noughts and Crosses book series is so clever. It's really good writing, and it's very different from the typical sort of writing styles. Sometimes you might get confused, but you normally know where you are. It's more in Checkmate that you get confused. Next up, books to with dragons. What else could I choose other than Aragon? So it's a 4-part series. So Aragon, Eldest, Brazinger, and Inheritance. It's really descriptive, but it's not in a boring way. You really get the world. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, I really think you'll like this. I haven't actually read Lord of the Rings yet, so I couldn't put it in my list yet, but I will. It's on my reading to-do list. So I will get to it. I've watched the movie, so yes, it's kind of, I mean, it even says here, will appeal to the legions of readers who have being captured by the Lord of the Rings trilogy. See? I'm not the only one. So that's it for me for this today, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. I don't know why. You could, and comment if you have any other books that should be on this list. Keep reading.